I need some help.
Well,
I need a lot of help.
I could have told you
but
that.
I need specific help.
I've done.
I need another opinion on a movie that I'm hoping you haven't seen. Have you seen Electric State?
Electric State.
The new Netflix.
Is that the Netflix?
New Netflix
You know,
film.
I haven't, and I'm usually not. I don't spend a lot of time loitering on Netflix. Like I'm not up to date on the flicks of net. But no, I have not.
Okay.
You need help?
Well, I think I have an opinion, but I need to watch it again. I think a second opinion is in order.
Okay. All right. So, I was at Service Ontario this morning,
Oh, fun.
which, if you're listening from outside of Ontario or even outside of Canada, I don't know what the other, like, I don't know if there's a Service Alberta, right? Like, I don't know what it's called.
Probably some.
Yeah, there'll be something,
facsimile.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Even in the States, they have a similar facsimile. Like they have
like on a state level.
Yeah.
So, but Service Ontario is like, it's the building, it's the office that we go to renew or deal with provincial government matters, right? So things like our health card, our driver's license, stuff
all
like that.
provincial paperwork.
Vehicle permits.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're there at Service Ontario this morning, and there's a couple of people who get served ahead of us. Several of which had appointments, and those who had appointments were senior citizens, who were there because they're at an age where, we got to run you through a couple of tests here to make sure you're still okay to drive. And if you are okay to drive, we'll renew your license. But if you're at a point where you're no longer capable of, you're no longer deemed safe behind a wheel, we're not going to renew your license for you. And so sitting there, I got to watch in on these tests, right? It's not like I would take you in the back,
Take you out back and
do the tests. No, it's like it all happens right there. It's not a driving test. So, because I guess at that point they figure
they're just cognitive tests.
Well, even then. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching these tests, and look, all the sympathy in the world for I cannot imagine how horrific and awful it must be to be at a point in your life where where the government or whoever tells you, I guess in some cases, sometimes it's doctors that can pull your license as well. Mm-hmm. But to be told by the powers that be, you're no longer able to drive, right? That part of your life is gone. I can't imagine. That sounds horrible and like it could be depressing and isolating and
Right.
all the things. Having said that, when you get behind the wheel of a car or a truck or van, you got a lot of power at your fingertips, right? Like, you can do a lot of damage behind the wheel of a car. Let me walk you through the tests that I saw today.
Sure.
The first was an eyesight test. So you go over to this thing, you sit down at this table, and there's this machine that you look into, right? Pretty similar to what you would see at, you ever been to, have you ever had an optometrist?
Yeah.
So pretty similar to what you'd look into at an optometrist, but all computer and digitalized. And so you look into it, and the first thing that pops up is, the lines with the letters, and they seem to only care about line 4, whatever that looks, obviously I didn't get to look into this thing, but line 4, if you can read out the letters on line 4, then they're happy with the clarity of your vision.
Sure.
The next thing they test is your peripheral vision. And so they tell you that on the right and left hand side, you're going to see flashing lights, and you just have to tell us what side the light is flashing on.
Okay.
Right? On the right, on the left, on the left, on the right, whatever. And then peripheral in the other sense. So you almost go a little cross-eyed, I guess, because it's like in closer to your nose.
Sure.
And there's like 2 or 3 lights that flash there, and then you're done the vision portion, which I'm okay with, right? Like you can see clearly enough, you can see fine details, and you have peripheral vision that satisfies. Yeah. There is one more component to this entire process after the vision testing is done. They hand you a piece of paper and a pen, and you have 5 minutes to draw a circle, put the numbers 1 through 12 on this circle, like the face of a clock.
Yep.
And then draw the hands on to indicate the time, 10 after 11. And if you can do that in 5 minutes, come on over, we're going to renew your license. And look, again, there was a guy there today. It must have been 80s, 85, let's say. Pretty slow, frail gentleman. Got his license. I guess he can see and knows what a clock looks like. And that is the standard in Ontario for an elderly person retaining their license. That's a little scary to me.
Yeah, there's
like, no reaction time testing.
Well, the clock thing. There's a little bit more to the react. I don't know how you test reaction time.
I know 100%. I know 100%. Okay, you have a little button, little hand buzzer, clicker. The same like a game show. And when you see the light turn on, you click the button. You do that 4 or 5 times. It's going to measure seconds, microseconds, whatever. Sure. But that's going to gauge, and then you set some sort of threshold that goes, okay, based on that, we can reasonably assume that if a kid or, whatever darts out in front of your vehicle, you might be able to hit the brake. There's a pretty good chance you'll be able to hit the brakes in time. To me, that's a simple solution. Yeah, sure. I don't understand why that's not.
That might be a decent addition.
It's just scary as hell.
There is something to the clock facing. Like you make it sound like it's super simple, but there is I don't know the terminology for it, but like a mental gymnastics.
Sure.
Portion of that
it's cognitive
elderly people do struggle with. Like sure. my grandmother-in-law went through these tests that you just mentioned, like probably 10 years ago now. Oh no, I guess no.
I think it's every 5.
At least 6 years ago, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it was during the preview. I don't know. Anyway, and like I remember talking about it with my father-in-law, and about that's kind of simple, and he kind of broke down.
Who went through this? Your grandmother?
Not mine. My wife's grandma, and she did end up failing it. Like,
really?
Yeah, and but
the clock portion. The clock.
You talk to her like she's sharp as a tack.
Yeah,
like she carries on a conversation, sharp as a tack, but like. There's something about like connecting dots in the brain
and look, I'm not saying that I'm not saying the clock thing's dumb.
People fail it,
right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying the clock thing's dumb.
You made it sound like it was easy as what a clock looks like.
No.
You're good.
No. That simple. I was being a little. I think both of the existing
You're saying there needs to be one more addition.
At least,
Yeah.
right? I think both of the existing components of the test, like
Right.
I'm surprised.
I mean,
and
they drive so slow. They don't need reaction.
Well, but that's dangerous too. And look, I understand that not every place is set, like not every Service Ontario is set up with a big parking lot out back or whatever. But I'm thinking like, at bare minimum, yeah, some sort of button pressing reaction time thing.
I'm pretty sure they do have to do driving tests at some point too.
I would hope,
Outside
like,
of that.
even if it's just like, you know, in between the pylons type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not saying any of the existing components
You had a
should
fun
be thrown
time
out.
at the.
I was like, okay, well, we'll see you on the road, Gramps.
Anyway,
Hello and welcome to the Movie Man podcast.
we are the B team. Is that a good robot?
No, is that what that?
I was trying to go for a robot.
Okay.
I don't know.
Look, I'm excited because this feels like a special episode to me. It feels like a special occasion.
Something newish.
Well, you've brought me sort of. Yeah, I mean, you've brought me in as the expert here. Like this is you have brought me. You know, it in previous episodes you bring me a film,
Right.
and you're like, I can't believe you haven't seen this.
This is great.
What do you think? Blah blah blah. Don't you love it? This is you've like you said in the intro, you've come to me for help.
Right. Well, not help. I wouldn't say help.
Well, you did say help. So.
Yes, I did.
You wouldn't, but you did.
I wouldn't, but I did. I kind of had my mind set on if I liked it or not. So just jump into an initial impression here. I like this film.
Okay.
I liked this film before second watch.
Ooh.
Right. It's not that I don't like it. It's that what about this film did I like? Like there was some like I don't this film after I watched it for the very first time, I was kind of sitting with it. I was like, I liked it. But there's something about it that just sits a little weird. And I kind of had an idea where I placed my finger on it. I wasn't sure. I wanted to watch it a second time because the first time I ended up watching it, I was on my phone a fair bit.
Idiot.
Not because I was bored, but because I was like, whose voice is that?
Right.
Because a lot of the robots are voiced by well-known actors.
Yeah.
And like I'm sitting on IMDb. I'm like, holy crap! What character is that? Okay, that's that person. Wait, whose voice is that? Holy crap! That's
yeah.
So I was a little distracted by the kind of the casting surprises that in my initial watch.
Okay.
So yeah, I needed to watch it a second time for my own sake, and then. We'll use the word help, but I think it's more of like a really interested to know what another opinion would be.
Okay.
Yeah. What did you think? Initial impression?
I think this film is a mixed bag. There are a lot of things about it that I think I really like.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things about it that I think are not so great. And interestingly, this is one of those occasions, and I feel like this doesn't happen super often, but this is an occasion where if you were to ask me right now for a score between 0 and 10, I'm not sure I would know what to tell you. This is one where I'm going to rely heavily on us talking this out.
It sounds like you're at where I was at after my first watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because there's some good and there's some bad, and I'm aware of how I feel about individual aspects of the film.
Right.
But until we talk it out, I don't know if I know how that's weighted in either direction.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I'm following what you're saying.
So,
Yeah. It sounds like you're definitely where I was at when I finished watching it for the first time.
so if you'll indulge me, I'd kind of like to give without reading anything off the screen here. I would kind of like to give my synopsis of what this film is about.
Sure.
So this is a it's not a different world. It's our world with a altered history.
Alternate timeline.
Because you still have like the brands that we know and the places that we know are all present. But it's a world where robotics saw a huge boom in like the late 50s, early 60s.
And the founding of Disney World.
And Disney World was like the first like integration of autonomous robots. And then basically not this is a huge oversimplification, but essentially Judgment Day happens. The Terminator, a war between the humans and the robots happen, but it happens in like the 80s.
I would say it was a civil rights movement by the robots is a more accurate.
Sure, which is
depiction.
still them being self-aware and wanting to be more than just this.
You link it to Terminator, and Terminator.
I said it's an oversimplification.
Yeah, Terminator's like kill all humans. They're just like, no, we want our rights.
Yeah, I mean they do end up,
they fight for them, but
kill a lot of humans.
So did the Civil War.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a war, and it's sort of like mid to late 80s, kind of wrapping up at the start of the 90s.
Right.
And unlike Terminator or so many of these other man versus machine movies where the story we get is a very post-apocalyptic, humans are all but extinct and the machines are the ones in charge. Terminator, Matrix, what have you. We won.
Humans win. Go humans.
And we were able to take all the robots and concentrate them all out in the desert in this massive walled-in area.
The exclusion zone.
Hundreds upon hundreds of kilometers.
Yeah.
Like a prison. And they stay there, and there's a treaty. You guys don't leave. I mean, it's a weird treaty because they're all in prison, but it's also a massive, like they're just free roaming. It kind of feels like the Void from the MCU, sort of, just in that it's, it's a bit of a barren wasteland and it's mostly desert.
Yeah, sure.
But from that, we have the way that we won that war is because there was some sort of scientific breakthrough with technology, I guess technological breakthrough, where instead of humans being boots on the ground out there fighting these robots, they were able to put on essentially these super sophisticated VR helmets that linked them into these drones, which were like not humanoid, but like humanoid in the sense of two arms, two legs. Yeah. And they went out and fought the wars, and they were obviously much stronger, more firepower. And so through that we won.
Well, and you could throw them away, like cost pennies to make.
You don't
them.
lose a soldier because the
soldier's fine, the robot's dead.
Off.
They just take control of another drone.
And then the other side of this story is that sort of that would be the synopsis. That would be the mostly spoiler-free back of the novel version.
Yeah, you learn all that information in the first
pretty quick.
15 minutes of the film.
But then so we have this girl named, is it Michelle? Yeah, Michelle.
Michelle Green,
who
played by Millie Bobby Brown,
who is a orphan.
Can't get away from colors, apparently.
Who's an orphan after her brother and both parents, quote unquote, died in a car accident from hitting a deer.
Yeah.
It's then revealed that her parents did die.
Parents are dead. Yeah.
Brother did not, was in a coma. And while being in a coma, before Michelle woke up in the hospital, the scientists, the doctors, realized what a freak, smart, incredible brain this kid has.
Yeah.
The boy, Christopher.
Supercomputer brain, literally.
and that he could be the key to the advancement of their technology, allowing them to win this war. And then once the war was done, it also allowed this company to monetize the shit out of VR-esque life. And then the whole film is a journey. Like, Michelle discovers this. She goes on this whole long journey to rescue her brother. And when she finally gets to her brother, he's been hooked up to this machine so long. And maybe even when... Maybe there was never any saving him, because the state that he was in the coma after the accident, it was being hooked up to these machines that kept him alive.
He's hooked up to the machine long enough that, in his words in the movie, it became a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
One could not survive without the other.
Yeah. And so she has to unplug him, which kills him and also shuts down this company and the worldwide VR tech that everyone uses, schools, everything.
No longer works anymore because he's not running it.
And the future moving forward is potentially that, we're gonna get back to basics a little bit. we're gonna
hopefully robots will come alongside and help us.
Yeah. So that's the version that I'm going to give in terms of, if you haven't seen the movie. I mean, I would recommend you watch the movie for the sake of listening to this episode, because we're going to discuss a bunch more. We're going to go into details. We're going to talk about stuff in a spoilery sense. But I don't think we really need to, we can just talk about this moving forward as if everyone's seen it.
Yeah.
We don't need to explain the details of what happened.
I don't think we need to walk through it scene by scene.
No.
Let's talk about cast, because, like I said, when I initially watched it, I was distracted by my phone looking at who it is that's in this film, and I got you to look at it before that casting beforehand, so that you wouldn't feel obliged or curious to do the same, that you could focus on the film, because it's kind of stacked a little bit.
It is.
There's a lot of name recognition here. Like, you've got the stars, Millie Bobby Brown.
Let's do live action first. Let's talk about the physical appearances.
And then you got Chris Pratt. Those are our two main protagonists.
Yep.
And then our main antagonist, fan favorite of yours,
Stanley Tucci. So good. He's always good.
I didn't realize this, but apparently him and who is it? Oh man, I just forgot who it is. He's an in-law with another famous person. Who is it? Oh man,
Emily Blunt.
Yeah, but like, who's she married to? She's married to.
No, he's married to Felicity Blunt,
right?
Which is Emily Blunt's sister,
and she's married to
John Krasinski.
Yeah, that's it, John Krasinski.
Yeah,
that's it. It's like when I found that, I was like, holy crap, that is wild. That
Christmas.
They hang out for Christmas.
I mean, probably not.
That would they definitely do.
You think so? Think about that connection.
It's a family thing. Like, get together with family for Christmas. Of course they get together for family for Christmas.
Probably. Yeah.
Definitely. Like, they definitely get together with family.
Not every family gets together for Christmas.
Ah, come on. You know it happens.
I don't, is what I'm saying.
Anyway.
So yeah, Stanley Tucci. And then supporting cast, we have Ke Huy Quan.
Yeah. Who plays himself, well, not himself, but plays a live action character and also the voices a robot.
We have Giancarlo Esposito.
Right.
Who's an incredible actor. You'd know him from things like Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
What are the other things he's been in?
I think he was good in this. He was in Captain America Brave New World.
Is he?
Yeah. He was the, what's his name? Snake something.
Oh, yeah. Sidewinder.
Sidewinder.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a weird role for, because he's old. He looks old and he doesn't look tough. Like, I think as a villain, he's a great mastermind style villain. Like, his mind is super scary. But he doesn't sell the action for me, which works for him in this film because he doesn't need to have the physical presence.
Well, he plays, I mean, the thing that you and I are, or like our connection to him more recently, is he is not only the voice, but is the motion capture or the performance capture artist for El Presidente in the one of the weaker entries in the series, Far Cry 6.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, it's his face.
Yeah.
And that's the
voice,
villain that he's, that sort of like man with a lot of power.
Man with a lot of power, the mastermind. Yeah, like he didn't, I don't think I mentioned this when we did our Brave New World review, but he doesn't really sell that soldier of fortune to me.
I mean, but it works because you really, 99% of this film, you see him as a face on one of the drones.
Like I said, in this, it works because he can be the old grizzled soldier of fortune that he looks like.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need to have that physically imposing.
Can I tell you, I was really
that
hoping,
kind of, I think, fell flat in Captain America.
When we finally see him take his VR helmet off at the end of this film, it was really, I don't know why, because it's not necessary, but I think it would have added some layers and maybe would have been thought-provoking. I was really hoping the camera was going to pan out to reveal that he was in a wheelchair.
Oh, that would have been neat.
Right?
Yeah.
Like and then just be done with it. Like there's it doesn't need to be this whole big thing, but just like that this
and some other
force to be reckoned with throughout this whole film
other
is
distant
paralyzed.
war, he lost his legs or something.
Yeah. We have Jason Alexander, who plays the foster father of Millie Bobby Brown's character.
Yeah. For those that...
It's always good to see Jason Alexander.
Yeah. George Costanza, if you're like me and you're like, I know that name, but I don't know the face.
Either that or the guy that's talked you several times into going out and having KFC for dinner.
Sure. Yeah.
We have Maren Hinkle as Miss Zablinski.
She was the...
Are you struggling? She's the like guidance counselor or whatever principal at the school. Yeah. A lot of people will know her from the sitcom 2.5 Men. She was John Cryer, Alan's really temperamental, controlling, and awful ex-wife.
Yeah. Woody Norman. I don't recognize that name.
It's Christopher. He played Christopher.
No. I know. I'm talking about as an actor. That's his actor's name.
I mean, he's 14.
This is pretty much it's his
big
potential breakout role for him.
Now we have Martin. I always mispronounce this. I think it's Kleba, who this is a little bit of a weird one because he plays Herman. He's like, but I don't know in what capacity he's listed. He's the little actor from like the Pirates of the Caribbean films.
Right.
Herman's one of the robots. Herman is Chris Pratt's robot.
Yeah.
And so I guess did performance capture?
Mocap?
Because he's not the voice. So I don't know. Like, that's weird to me. And then the only other like name that sticks out to me as someone who I know is Holly Hunter, who plays like a big TV personality, news reporter, journalist esque person. She's been in a bunch of things, but most people will know her as the voice of Elastigirl from the Incredibles films.
There you
go. Voices. Anthony Mackie plays Herman. Woody Harrelson plays Mr. Peanut. Yes, that Mr. Peanut. The Mr. Peanut from Planters Peanuts.
Yes, that
Mr.
Woody
Peanut.
Harrelson.
Jenny Slate plays Penny Pal. Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk, man.
Plays Cosmo. Brian Cox plays Popfly.
Okay, can we stop? Like, I never would have guessed that was Alan Tudyk voicing Cosmo.
No, and we'll get into that because
that dude,
it's part of my issue with this film.
That dude's voice is like a chameleon.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
It's one of my issues with this film.
Okay.
Brian Cox plays Popfly. Hank Azaria from Simpsons fame plays Perplexo. And then some names that I don't really recognize do some other voicing in this. Stacked cast.
Yeah.
But I can't talk about the cast without talking about something I don't like about this film.
Shoot.
Well, so stacked cast, which means... so the film is a $320 million budget.
Yeah.
Some of that is going to go to... there's a lot of action sequences. It's a grand scale of a film.
Yeah.
Some of that is going to go to the fact that we didn't mention this is directed by the Russo brothers of Avengers fame. Some of that is going to go to the fact that Alan Silvestri scored the film of incredible films like the Back to the Future franchise, Castaway, like a lot of Robert Zemeckis things.
A lot of the money spent on
talent.
Talent and potential.
So here's the thing. Anthony Mackie plays Herman. At no point, had I not looked it up, not only would I not have known that it was Anthony Mackie, I wouldn't have had a... what voice is that moment? Yeah. Woody Harrelson, yes. Woody Harrelson, so that's to say, I don't think casting Anthony Mackie to do a voice in this film with the voice that he did and the effects that they put on his character's voice, I don't think spending the money on Anthony Mackie was necessary.
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson, yes. Woody Harrelson's voice stands out as Woody Harrelson's voice, and I think it lends a lot to the character of Mr. Peanut, so that makes sense to me. Alan Tudyk as Cosmo. I don't think, out of some of the names that are on this list, Alan's not going to run you the biggest paycheck.
No.
But...
he's probably doing it for a song for fun. Like the dude played Hey Hey in Moana 1 and 2. He played a chicken.
Yeah, I mean...
like he's collecting probably a decent paycheck, but I'm agreeing with you. He's probably happy to do it for...
see if I can find...
for peanuts compared to...
So his salary for this film's not publicly available yet. But either way, whatever they spent on him, let's say it wasn't, because he plays a major role in this.
Yeah.
Let's say it cost some real money.
Yeah.
Couple, let's say he got paid $5 million for this. What wasn't necessary to get Alan Tudyk?
I don't know. It's Alan Tudyk. I don't know.
But you couldn't tell.
No. I mean, you couldn't tell he was Hey Hey.
and the other one is Hank Azaria as Perplexo. I couldn't tell at all that was Hank Azaria. Perplexo's voice was not one that I was going, who the hell is that?
Wow, what the hell was that? But apparently I'm a teenager again.
Personally, I think you're a f***ing idiot.
That's the only one I have still. I'm sorry.
You gotta grow that soundboard.
Yeah.
second watch, I picked up some like kind of as Hank Azaria mannerisms in the presentation of the character.
Okay.
But I would agree with you.
But still
like,
wasn't probably necessary to pay for Hank Azaria.
I would, yeah. He as a voiceover actor, I mean, it makes more sense to shell a little bit extra money out for voiceover actors than it does for Anthony Mackie.
Sure.
Especially when the kind of the cadences and voice of that character are like, anybody really could have pulled that off.
Right.
Right.
So here's my point. Is there was potentially some unnecessary budget spending on some of the voice work here.
Yeah,
this
names
film,
for name's sake, essentially.
This film relies very heavily. Yeah, and for something that's Netflix, right? We weren't looking for box office dollars here. We're not looking for box office drama.
Yeah.
This movie relies heavily on CGI.
Yeah.
I would say that 95% of the CGI in this film falls into the category of pretty good, like pretty great video game cutscene.
Really?
And that, but not like video game cutscene that I would call Brienne in from the other room because holy crap, look at this. It's pretty janky. There's many moments where it's just a choice in the shading of the characters, where like, you know, I first notice it when Millie Bobby Brown's hiding under the bed and the robot, and you just see the feet walking across the floor, and I thought, oh good God, that looks cartoon. It to me looked so bad.
Wow, that is the problem I never had with this film. I thought the robots all looked amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Like they looked photorealistic. You thought those could actually be.
I thought it sold it. The film sold the robots perfectly. Honest, I'm serious. I thought they were great.
Wow. Like for me, it wasn't just like, you know what? It was like, no, don't get me wrong. I don't think it was actively bad. Like if you were to ask me, like, you know, rate the CGI in this film, I'd give it like a high 6, like a 6.7, 6.8. It wasn't like, oh, the CGI was like a 4 and it was like actively bad to the point that it was like pulling me out of it all the time. But there's definitely some jank CGI in this film.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
We're on opposite ends of this.
And I'm like,
because let's use the example you had. When you just see the feet walking in.
So let's go back to you going to the optometrist. When was the last time you had your eyes checked?
The feet walking in. I think that's like, I don't know. Like, are you talking about the fidelity of it? Like just the overall visual?
It doesn't look like it belongs in the picture. Right? Like often
I'm trying to understand what about it makes you think that.
So a lot, because it just looked like the shading, the shadows on it, it looked like there was a lack of on a lot of the characters, it looked like there was like a lack of detail. So like a lack of things that would make the textures look metallic. They looked cartoony to me. And
they're all.
You're right. Wait, no. You're asking me to. I'm trying to tell you why. And it was like the colors and so here's the thing. Like with CGI, often CGI's CGI's weakness. CGI shows its weakness when there's motion, which is why CGI set extensions and all that stuff can often, like almost every film, even films you think don't have any CGI in them, use CGI set extensions. You don't even realize they're there. But when you have like a character moving across the screen or whatever, it falls, that's where it starts to fall apart. But often you could, if there's a CGI robot on the screen that the movement or the whatever, like it just entered this weird and I didn't buy it. But if you looked at a still, if you looked at a screenshot, you'd go, it doesn't stand out to you. I guarantee you, if I looked at stills from this film, I'd be able to go, yep, that's CGI and it's bad CGI, and that doesn't look like it belongs in this world, and that doesn't look like it belongs in this world.
I don't follow. Going back to your original scene that you're going to, the feet, Cosmo's feet walking across the floor. They're rusted, they look old, banged up, beat up. Then on top of that, you've got little joints and mechanisms turning and clanging and moving around as he's walking. I don't see how you think that this looks bad.
It looks terrible. Like, I think it works okay for the film, but it's not photorealistic, which is fine. Not all CGI needs to be. But it just, for me, it was a real struggle. We don't have to agree. We don't have to reach the same.
I'm looking at this. I'm looking at an image of when they're kind of in just before they meet the doctor, and before they fall through the that looks amazing to me. Those look real.
I can't. I genuinely. I feel like this is a big April Fool's on me.
How do you not? I feel like you're being overly critical.
No, I'm just to me the CGI in this film is not good.
Like they look beat up, they look rusty, they look burnt. They look like they've been through hell and back.
Okay, look. Tell me, so here's an image from the film. Tell me that Mr. Peanut and whatever the hell this thing is in the background don't stick out as clearly, not shaded the same way as, say, the table that's sitting there, or
it's different material.
Actual things that are probably there. I mean, maybe they're not, like the TVs, but again, they're just sitting there, so it doesn't have that same. Right? I think part of the problem is that they gave like actual. There was nothing mechanical about Mr. Peanut's eyes. He basically had human eyes, which was weird.
Yeah, I don't see what the issue is.
So, anyways, my point is, like, I feel like they could have taken some of the budget.
I wonder if part of the issue is you were expecting the robots to look more advanced or something.
No, not more advanced. Just like they're actually there, right? So, like, here's an example. I apologize to all the people who are listening to this and going, "What pictures are you talking about? I don't know what's going on."
Just watch the movie.
So, yeah, I'm genuinely curious from people. Watch the movie and tell me. So
pay for Patreon, get on our Discord, and help us fight this out.
Here's a comparison. Okay, look at Mr. Peanut here.
Sure.
Right, sort of the Millie Bobby Brown looks real.
Well, she is, yeah.
Mr. Peanut looks like if I showed you that image right now, take everything out of this image, and I showed you that image of Mr. Peanut, You're telling me that no part of you would think that that's video game cutscene?
No. I think, well, this image is obviously doctored to make Billy make her stand out a little bit more.
This is a screenshot from the film.
No, it's not. Well, it's a screenshot from the film, but they've doctored it to make her stand out a little bit more for that header image. There's a whole glow around her.
Okay.
In that image.
So, all right. Well,
But like, look here. Like, look at Chris Pratt in the corner.
Yeah.
Next to the mail lady.
Yes.
I think that looks great.
So let's now compare this, right? This realistic, like metallic, feels like it's actually there to you look, to an instance where CGI robots in the film Chappie were done incredible, and how the lighting, the color tone, the shadows, the wear and tear feels actually like
it's the same. Go back to the other image. People are gonna.
Yeah, we got to move past this because this is garbage.
Okay, look.
Stop touching my screen.
Lighting, wear and tear. Like,
yeah, the lighting.
I'm pointing out the same things.
The lighting doesn't match any of the. Yeah. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We're gonna disagree on this. To me, the CGI really stood out as a massive sore spot.
Personally, I think you're a fucking idiot.
And that's fine. You've asked my opinion, and my opinion is the CGI.
Well, I don't want your opinion on this.
Doesn't look good.
I don't want your opinion on this because
Personally, I think you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it just looked rough. It really, I was disappointed by it, and there were times where it pulled me out.
Did you mute me or did you mute the thing?
I muted the button so you can't keep pressing the button.
I was done pushing it anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, personally, I think you're.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine. I genuinely like.
You're entitled to your opinion.
You know what?
It's wrong, but you're entitled to it.
I wasn't going to resort to attacks, but the fact that didn't look like, the fact that you're saying that the CGI stands out to you as spectacular, I genuinely question your. I don't know. Like I
don't see how it's a problem for you.
What's a problem for
the
me?
CGI.
Because it didn't look good. Because it didn't look good. It looked like that looks like a real. Like if I showed you that photo right there. This is the last photo we're gonna do. I swear, people. If I showed you that photo right there, and I told you that that wasn't CGI. If I told you that was an image, that was a picture I took of a real metal prop sitting in a warehouse somewhere at some sketchy place I ended up at last week, you're not questioning that at all? That looks like a genuine image to you.
Yeah. Different materials reflect differently.
I understand.
It looks old, looks worn, looks real to me. I'm
very concerned for you. I'm surprised that this is where
this is like if you look at a sports mascot, it doesn't look real, but it is.
But it looks like it's actually. I'm not saying what. I'm not saying, oh, that looks like a real tiger. I can't believe Tony the tiger's not a real tiger.
Saying. Like, but a lot of the materials and things that they use to make mascot outfits look off.
Sure, but if I see an image of a sports mascot, I can tell that it's actually physically there. Right? By the way that the lighting interacts with the material.
Right. But what I keep hearing you say is you're expecting the robots to be like, they are metal. They're shiny robots. But who's to say, you're like the Mr. Peanut? Okay, he's a metal robot, but obviously he's got some kind of paint on him.
Right. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay, and I understand that. What I'm saying is the lighting, like light, if you look around this room right now that we're in, yes, the light interacts differently on different materials, right? The paper on the cardboard on the pop figure boxes obviously is not as reflective as the metal on the sword. But they all share the same light source. And so the shadows are the same. And the paper behaves the way that your human brain understands and expects it. The lighting behaves the way that you understand and expect it to based on the light sources that are in this room.
So then your issue is how they lit the objects.
I think lighting has a big part to do it. Yeah, lighting is huge in CGI. Huge. And that's why there's many scenes in this film where they're in a dark, like, you know, the CGI is a little bit obscured by darkness, or they're coming out of the shadows, or they're lit from behind instead of a light on them in the front. And in those, I was like, oh, the CGI actually looks great there. Like, that looks, to me, that looks fine. But there was sort of like a matte finish over all of the robots in this. In some cases where a matte finish doesn't make any sense, because there's texture there. I can tell you're trying to convey texture to me, but it's the fidelity's not there. It's sort of a soft.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree,
and that's fine. I said that like 5 minutes ago that we weren't going to agree.
Oh, we kept talking about it. Let's move on.
Because you brought up sports mascots. I was like, let's move on. You're like, no, sports mascots. So anyways, that didn't work for me. And I can't help but, you know, when it's coming from someone like the Russo brothers, I go, like, Endgame looks so good. And I get, like, it's, you know, it's not Joe and Anthony Russo sitting there doing the effects themselves. But they would have some say over which effects house
director
we're going with and what's
we're done talking about this. Let's move on. You made your point.
But I'm talking about something different now.
You're talking about the visual effects again.
I'm talking about how budget for this film was used. And how I actually circled back to the voice cast, and I'm talking about how I wonder if this film needed all of these names, and I don't think it did. And I wonder how much of the budget of this film went to these names. I also don't know, like, when it comes to, and this is not me again. I'm not going to try to convince you of the CGI. But I don't know when it comes to things like CGI, how much, I don't know how Netflix operates, right? Mm-hmm. Versus Marvel operating, right? If Marvel goes, look, this is the effects houses that we work with. We're Marvel. We have a shit ton of budget. This is Avengers Endgame. We're going to throw the friggin' bank at it. And if maybe Joe and Anthony Russo have worked with an Avenger, like, you know, whoever they worked with on Endgame, they're like, oh, these guys are great. Let's get these guys. And Netflix was like, no, we work with these effects guys, so we're gonna go with them. And Joe and Anthony Russo are like, well, shit, right? Like, I don't know, but $320 million is not a small budget.
No,
like, that is a big boy budget. Probably bigger than a Netflix movie about robots needs. And maybe I wouldn't say that statement in another 5 years, 10 years. But it feels like we're still in the beginning stages of like even though the streaming thing's been going on for a while, and you're seeing more and more big actors and big directors and whatever.
Well, yeah, Netflix has been pumping out
Netflix
only content for film.
Yeah, but one in every, and this is you can take this opinion to the bank, my friend. 1 in every 15 Netflix movies are good. Netflix pumps out a lot of crap. So much crap. Like really bad films. Really bad. And Netflix also has...
I'm not going to fight you on that one.
Netflix also has, and this is evident of this, Netflix's biggest weak point is they're really, really terrible at marketing films.
Yeah.
Really bad. So bad.
Yeah.
Because the fact that when did this come out? Just 2025? How new is this?
It's within the last month or two.
Yeah, so 2025. The fact that in the last month or two, a Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown, Stanley Tucci, Woody Harrelson, Anthony Mackie, and so on film came out, and I had never heard of it. Not even I hadn't seen a trailer. I had never heard of this film.
You didn't see it around your socials.
No, not at all.
I did. That's
But
why I was
what
interested in the first place.
Like that's crazy marketing to me. That you're going to throw this kind of money behind a film, and then it's not popping up on my YouTube page, my YouTube algorithm is very fine tuned to show me new trailers.
Huh.
And this never came up.
That's what, because it showed up on my algorithms. That's wild.
Yeah, but you follow all those sports mascot pages.
Dude, those are cool pages. You need to get on that train.
So let's talk about other stuff.
Let's talk about the live action cast. Chris
Okay.
Pratt, Millie Bobby.
I think Stanley
Esposito.
Tucci's incredible in this.
Yeah.
I'm biased because Stanley Tucci is my guy who, like, he's in my select 5 actors who, if I know he's in it, I'm on board. I want to see it.
His character, I don't think his character has a lot of depth. I think this is a character that doesn't need a lot of depth, though.
No, he's just a villain.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy who's making money. He wants to keep making money, and he's doing sketchy shit to get there.
And to Esposito's, the way Esposito's character kind of pegs him at the end, is he's a smart guy who's
less human
than robots.
Yeah.
Like, and he portrays that kind of well. Like, I don't care about anything but the profit and myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I think he did a great job.
I think he's great. I think Chris Pratt does well in this.
Same.
This is the first thing that I think this is the first thing that I've seen Millie Bobby Brown in other than Stranger Things. I know the Enola Holmes movies on Netflix are a big deal. They're on my list. I know I got to get to them. But I think this is the first thing I've seen her in other than Stranger Things. I thought her performance in this was extremely inconsistent.
Yes.
I think there are times in this film where I go, oh, this is great. She's nailing this. I'm feeling heart. I'm feeling whatever. And then there's other times in this where I'm just like, you're just having good days and bad days on set? Or was it bad direction? Was it bad? What's happening? Because there's times where she is the weakest link of this film, and there are times where she's blowing me out of the water. So inconsistent.
I'm with you. I'm with you on this one. It was wild to me though. One of the things that kind of like, as an actor, one of the things you want to do is kind of become the character so much the audience kind of separates you from the actor, and you're now the character.
I just saw Millie Bobby Brown the whole time.
There were a few times where I was like, "Oh yeah, and I don't think it was her acting. It was her look. Whoever the costume just hair people were, like, her having the long blonde hair with the big long bangs,
eyeliner,
and she's running around in caves and stuff. I'm like, she didn't look like Millie Bobby Brown.
Well, and keep in mind,
which was kind of wild.
keep in mind, she's at that age where she's changing rapidly,
Yeah.
right? She's a young
early
adult.
20s. Yeah.
And the last time that we saw her, if you know her exclusively from Stranger Things, then the last time we saw her was 3 years ago when the last Stranger Things came out, which would have been shot 4 years ago.
Right.
And so 4 years at that age is significant.
Yeah. I have seen pretty, I guess, from looking at her credits.
You see most of it?
I've seen pretty much almost all her.
Have you
her
seen the Enola Holmes?
I've seen both Enola Holmes.
Are they good?
I've seen Damsel. I've seen The Stranger Things. I've seen Godzilla versus Kong.
Is Enola Holmes good?
I think Enola Holmes is good.
So I should check it
Enola
out.
Holmes is a
Okay.
lot of fun. Yeah.
So what surprised me about her, and this was something that like I was wrestling with because I was like, me sitting there the whole time thinking, God, what happened with the CGI? Like what is going on with these visual effects? Anytime they do a flashback to younger Millie Bobby Brown interacting with her brother,
Right.
yes, there's some makeup stuff, there's some hair stuff.
There's de-aging.
I'm
for
pretty
sure.
sure there's some digital de-aging
Yeah.
happening, and it is flawless.
Yeah.
It is the best digital de-aging, and I've seen a bunch, right? There's some bad digital de-aging out there. There's like Tarkin in Rogue One,
Right.
which is not good.
Yeah.
There's some hit and miss de-aging, like Tom Hanks in the recent movie Here.
Okay.
Sometimes it's great. When they get real close up to the camera, you're like, ah. There was no... It was so indistinguishable in this film that I spent the whole film going, is there de-aging happening? There has to be. There has to be, but...
I feel like it was, if they did it, the only scene they would have done it for was the beach scene where where the toys broke and she's calming down her brother. I think the campus scene at the very beginning,
It's just different hair.
I think it's just hair and makeup.
Now, here's an interesting counter theory. And it would be smart if they did this. Knowing that the de-aging technology is there and it's getting good, it's getting better, but it's not perfect. Millie Bobby Brown's got a pretty young face.
Yeah.
What would have been smart, and maybe they did this, is anytime you're seeing her present day with the blonde hair, they've actually used makeup
Hair and makeup to make her look older.
to age her up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? So that when we take all that away and we give you the Millie Bobby Brown hair that everyone knows, your Millie Bobby Brown hair,
Brown hair, Bobby Brown.
then brown hair Millie, then you look several years younger.
Right.
I don't know if they did that. Right? I'm still not convinced. Something was done because she does look significantly different ages, and it is perfect.
Yeah.
And so either they somehow cracked the code on perfect digital de-aging, but at least in my opinion, flubbed so many of the other visual effects, or they were smart and aged her up a bit for the modern stuff, which I think is also completely possible. I don't know. I'm not convinced there was digital stuff. There could be. And if it is, hats off to them.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was good. I agree though that her performance was lackluster.
and there were some moments that I don't think are her fault. There's some clunky dialogue. There's some like, I don't know how you deliver this line
It's exposition-y.
Especially when like it gets much better when she meets Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
But there's this weird 5-minute chunk where I was like, oh God, please give her another actor to play off of. Because when it's just her and Cosmo, who is the robot that her brother's mind is inhabiting, Cosmo is basically working off of a set. Cosmo can only quote the show that character is from.
Yeah. He
And
doesn't
so
have
he's
the
not
ability to
communicating with her. And so there's a lot of moments where, in order to further the plot, Millie Bobby Brown is having to have both sides of the conversation out loud so that the audience follows along, and it's painful.
Yeah, she's thinking out loud.
Yeah.
She's talking out loud.
Do you know what that
to
means?
herself out loud.
It means that if we, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
and then we'll be able to do that. Right. And you're just like, holy crap, I hope this is not the whole film.
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah.
I do like the world building.
Yeah.
I like that it's one of those
It's-
pieces, because it's set in 93,
Yeah.
and some pieces of technology are far more advanced than what we know. Some aren't. They're still driving around in 1993
it's a weird
cars,
in-between.
right? Cars have seen no advancement.
Yeah. It's a weird in between.
Yeah, and I love that.
I think, yeah.
It's like the 50s thing, right? Where it's like the 50s, but they have robots
Yeah.
and really fancy stuff, but it's
like
still
kinda
a
like
50s
Jetsons.
TV. Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like the Jetsons
So
or Fallout.
We're getting
It's like
in kind
Fallout.
of the general premise of the film here. And this is the one of the things that really got me kind of ruminating on this film is the premise. That kind of general, like, overarching premise of robots, humans, robot rights. And it was, and how they kind of go about all that. And I was just like, this is very, they've cherry picked a lot of things from a lot of other film
Yeah.
and kind of melded them together in a melting pot to make their own little chili stew.
While watching it, I was thinking it feels very Ready Player One.
Ready Player One.
Mixed with I got some Tomorrowland out of it, just because it's a young female with a robot.
Kind of the future, but not future.
Yeah, and going on an adventure, blah, blah, blah. It's got a little bit.
I think there's a bit of Wall-E in there. People are living in a
There's a
world
little
that
bit of Wall-E.
isn't real.
So there's a lot of that. What's weird to me is at the same time, I think the film's got a little bit of an identity crisis.
Yes, that's where I'm kind of going with this.
Yeah, because there is some very much not for, like, I wouldn't show it to your 10-year-old type of stuff in this film. Like where Ke Huy Quan's character is hiding out in this derelict, creepy amusement park. There's some startling. Some of the robots that show up there are creepy
the
AF.
scavengers. Yeah.
And then there's just some violence and some more mature themes in this film. But outside of that, it feels very like the jokes that are being delivered and the flavor of the action that we're getting. And I feel like a desire to have a deep story, but maybe a fear of going deep enough to have it really be impactful feels very juvenile to me.
Yeah, they kind of touch on something with like the robot civil rights thing, but they don't really dive into it. And I think, like, to your point, it's like there's more meat on the bone there they could have chewed.
Like I
at the
can't
same
pinpoint
time,
what the demographic, what their intended, like what age did they envision this film being for?
Yeah, but the civil rights thing, while a component of the story, it wasn't the focus.
No,
right? The focus was on Green, Michelle Green and her brother, and freeing it. Like that was the primary focus, and all this other stuff was kind of like just tagged on.
Although none of
this,
what I'm about to say is sort of a weird, loose comparison, because none of the, like, it's an entirely different story, entirely different. I'm talking purely in terms of lightheartedness. This movie, to me, it almost feels like, day one, the writers and the directors show up. They're there in the room the room where it happens. And they're like, okay, we're going to make this movie. This is sort of the outline for what the movie's going to be about. We want it to feel very Ready Player One. However...
Throw it up on the vision board. Ready Player One.
Yeah, Ready Player One. However, and hear me out, guys. My brother and I last night, for the first time ever, we watched Spy Kids. And what if it feels just a little Spy Kidsy? What if it feels a little... I mean, Spy Kids isn't even the right, but I'm trying to think of, or in the same way that, like, even Tomorrowland's deeper than this, because Tomorrowland, you walk out from it and there's some real questions asked. When this movie ended, I tried to ask myself, okay, what is this film and the setting and the setup is poised perfectly to have you walking away from this with something to chew on, with something to think about, with something to ponder, with some sort of like social message or political message, but not in this like, jamming it down our throats kind of way. And I walked away from this and I was like, what is the message? Don't be a rich dick.
Well, no, I feel like you did miss the message a little bit.
So what is the message?
I think they pretty plainly write the message literally on the wall right at the end when Michelle Green's character is in front of the camera saying, like, live in the real world. Don't get sucked into the connection virtually, right? We're supposed to connect with each other physically and not virtually. And I think that was like was kind of the big takeaway.
But here,
which is like
it's an important one,
and it's an important one in today's day and age. Like connecting digitally it's so easy to get sucked into an echo chamber or a toxic conversation.
Instead of picking up the phone and calling Carl, I'll just send him a text.
Yeah.
And I agree, but what I feel like happened was, because the first 15 minutes of this film, I love how this film starts. I love the setup of the world, right? I love everything, and by the beginning of this film, I'll say everything right up until Chris Pratt's hideout gets destroyed. Excuse me.
So the first act, essentially.
First act. And I love the ending of this film. And I'm not going to say the third act, because the third act would be like the whole big fight. And I love the ending of this film, which I would say is like from the time that Michelle goes into, like, puts the VR helmet on to talk to her brother to the end. Mm-hmm. I love that. The journey to get from the beginning to the end, I think there's a lot of good stuff in there, but I think there's also a lot of noise and just action and jokes and adventure. But yeah, the film sets up and it's like, the foster dad, he's glued into this thing. And
so much that he's got like sores under his eyes.
And it's a requirement at school, and that's a thing. And we're setting up this world that is...
She's bucking that digital trend.
Completely engulfed by this in a very Ready Player One kind of way.
Yeah.
And at the end, we touch on that again by having people, the system's down now. We're all going to take it off. We're going to go outside. We're going to smell air for the first time and who knows how long.
We're going to get some exercise like in WALL-E.
And she gives her message. Outside of that, though, the actual meat of this film abandons that almost entirely. Yes, we still have those VR helmets, but we only see them used by the soldiers,
right,
to perform their jobs and their duties and what we never, until the end of this film, we never return to what a epidemic the state that the world is in as far as, where humans are at. It all just becomes about her getting her brother back and, oh, woe is me for the robots.
Well, I think that's kind of intentional because we move away from the human. The whole second act takes place in the exclusion zone where humans aren't allowed.
Sure.
Right.
But and I agree. But it just makes that message a weak message to make. Because it's like we set it up at the beginning and then at the very end it's like we better give Michelle a speech to say so that we can bring this back around and remind people what the message is.
I'm just coming to this now as you're talking about it. And I don't know that it does. I think it actually is pretty poetic in how it does it. Now that we're talking about it. And so the movie sets up the way we just talked about. The humans are ingrained in digital technology and digital communication and they're able to, one side of their brain is able to send them to a digital beach, and the other side of the brain is them controlling a robot working.
Yeah, they have the work and the pleasure sides of their brain, and they're separate.
So, but they're living like Wall-E. They're living in in a chair.
Yeah.
Second act, ends up in the exclusion zone. They end up at the mall, and they meet the robots, and the robots are living more human lives than the humans. They're Mr. Peanut's talking about them wanting to be connected and growing beyond their.
You've just turned me around.
So it's and then you go back. Then in the third act, you kind of see those two ideas clash.
Yeah. No, that's an excellent point. Yeah. Yeah.
So
no,
I think it poetically kind of contrasts these two worlds.
Yeah. And then obviously you also have and this is like, this goes without saying, with the whole civil rights and ostracization, and because you don't look like me and act like me, you don't have the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there
Mr.
is
Peanut's got some good lines.
There's a racial kind of message.
The whole reason
here.
we signed the treaty is because we have to have some kind of rights and humanity.
Yeah.
For us to have this.
Yeah.
So we're not going to risk it. And then the line to, what was the line? Who did he give it? I think he gave it to, there was a line near the end that was really good that Mr. Peanut gave. Oh, it was the John Esposito's character is like, would you die for this? And he's like, I'd have to be alive to die.
Yeah. The one thing that I'm going to end my sort of take on this with, it's a negative thing, but it's a small thing. It was just a thing. I was like, what the hell are you talking about here? Chris Pratt's whole thing, when we first see him, he's a young soldier in the war.
There's like a little war, a news clip during the war.
And do you remember what reason he gives for the distinction between him and the robots?
In that
clip.
No, I don't.
He talks about how, they're not human, they're nothing like humans, they don't even blink. I blink.
Right.
Many of the robots, including Mr. Peanut, blink. So I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
That doesn't mean when they blink they stop seeing, though.
No, but you're like,
yeah.
It was just like, it just felt like a weird thing that no one in the script or on set. But I mean, that's the big difference, right? Is that the people writing the script are not the people doing character design and visual effects. Yeah. And so that's two different sides not communicating with each other about what makes sense and what doesn't.
Yeah, like it's an important scene because it sets up his character so well.
Yeah.
Right? Like he went from one side of the spectrum, hating robots, to his very best friend, and probably more than a best friend because he loves them so much.
Yeah.
is a robot.
But they could have
But
they could have had him
said-
say something else.
Well, they could have said breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe would have made way more sense.
Yeah. Are you ready to score this? You
Yeah,
have
sure.
Other stuff? that
Sure.
you-
Let's I think I'm I'll just touch on this. So shortly after I watched this, I watched the Honest Trailers react
Right.
from on YouTube, which is hilarious. If you haven't watched any of his stuff, it's funny. He pretty much just tears down every movie. There's very few movies he
Rarely does he come out and go, yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah, but he like rips into the character of Chris Pratt's character, be like, and Chris Pratt playing one of the only 3 archetypes he ever plays, and he breaks down the 3 like Chris Pratt in a vest, and then it shows a bunch of characters from other films where he's
Jurassic
in a vest
World.
playing the same character. Chris Pratt in a leather jacket.
Chris Pratt, I'm sure Chris Pratt is capable of a lot of range. However, he does usually play this very similar. This is a very Chris Pratt
witty
performance.
witty, goofy kind of it comes from his Parks and Rec, which kind of set him on the trajectory of fame.
Bit of a low life, not really, right?
Yeah.
Just not super stable. Yeah.
That Parks and Rec character, pretty much.
Yeah, he's basically Star-Lord
Yeah.
in this.
Well, Star-Lord's just a little bit smarter version of his character from Parks and Rec.
Okay,
But,
so
yeah.
on a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate Electric State?
Right. So you asked me this before we watched it.
Yeah, and you said
And I said
an 8.
I was probably
Going
at an
into
8
it.
going into it.
And I asked that because you were unsure and looking for. You're like, I got to see this
Yeah.
again, and I need because I don't know
need
how
some
I
confirmation.
feel. Yeah,
And on a second watch, I think it holds up pretty close to that. I think it does some things, some really clever things that kind of in our conversation were revealed, like the kind of the poeticness of like humans living digitally, robots wanting to live real lives, and that stuff. And then it falls flat in some areas, like Millie Bobby Brown's performance and
CGI
and not CGI. And, but I think I'd just dock it maybe half a point. I'd go 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah, I think it's still a good film, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
And what would you give it, sir?
I'm not super far behind you. I'm giving it a 6.9.
Oh, wow.
I think it's fun. I had fun watching it.
Yeah,
I was never
it's a
bored.
lot of fun. It moves well.
Yeah, I was never bored. I did. Yeah, I mean, I got to dock at points because of my opinion of the CGI.
Right.
That it you know, I was just thinking about it here and talking about like, what age is this film even for? There's a part of me that goes, it's almost like they pulled back the realism on some of the CGI to make it less adult, to make it seem less frightening for the kids. Again, I'm not saying that's what they did, but it was just an interesting parallel that I drew. I'm glad I watched it. I don't know if I'll watch it again. I don't have, some movies I finish watching and I think, oh, I got to show this movie to so-and-so. I don't have that feeling
Right.
about this. But I am glad that I did watch it, because probably not a movie you know what? I might have watched this. Like, if I'd been perusing Netflix and there was a one of those banners they put at the top where they're like featuring something, if it had like a full cast photo and I was like, holy crap, Stanley Tucci and Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt and I was like just looking for something to put on, yeah, I might have. But there's a good chance I would have never seen this otherwise. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad we watched it.
Cool. Cool.
What'd you watch this week?
Oh man, I didn't write it down. Oh man.
Oh, idiot. One Piece.
Oh yeah, man. I watched a lot of One Piece.
You feel like you're sort of marathoning at this point? You just want to you're trying to pick up the speed and get through it?
I think so the last story arc, Whole Cake Island, felt like it was really dragging at points. The arc I'm on now, which is called Wano, and both of those story arcs are
Guano?
Wano.
Oh, okay.
With a W.
Not
both
bad
both
shit.
of those story arcs are exceptionally long compared to some of the other arcs, like 100+ episodes long. Wano had a few moments where it felt like it was dragging, but not as bad as Whole Cake Island. But I'm in the last 20-30 episodes of the arc, and it's getting really good. Like the battles, the final battles are really heating up, and major fights are finishing. So it's getting, right now I don't feel like I'm marathoning. I feel like I'm really enjoying. I'm looking forward to the next episode. I think I'm going, when this arc ends, I'm going to take a little bit of a break from it so that I can catch up on some other shows that I have been ignoring because I've just been so ingrained in One Piece. Like I want to watch the last season of Cobra Kai, and yeah, there's a few other ones out there that I'm interested in watching. But so yeah, One Piece, Mad Men with the missus. We're enjoying that. That's a wild show. Have you ever watched Mad Men?
I have not.
So it's like, I think it's 40s, 50s, set in the 40s, 50s. And it's about a bunch of people who work in an advertising agency. But the wild thing about it is they do a really good job of kind of like showcasing this is kind of how people lived back then. Like doctors smoking, pregnant women smoking. The last episode we watched, the main character was out on a picnic with his wife and kids, and they get up to leave, and he downs the rest of his beer and he chucks it before getting in the car, and the wife packs all the bunch of stuff up into the basket and shakes all the litter off of her blanket before folding it up and walking away. And it's just like,
that's gross.
Wow. Yeah, people live that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like just a wild out of time thing to watch. Oh man. And then what did we watch for movie night? I don't think I wrote it down. I'm gonna check. Maybe I did write it down. I've been getting bad at not writing down. Did I say I watched Super Mario again last week?
You did.
Yeah, okay, so it wasn't Super Mario. What did we watch? I'm not going to remember. That's going to take too long. We'll move on.
All right.
We watched something. Sorry, everybody. Too bad. What did you watch?
Before I tell you what I watched, we did not touch on, and I feel like it's important, the Rotten Tomato score for the Electric
I've seen
State.
this. It's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, you let the audience
So
know.
it's a 69% from the audience,
Yeah.
15 from the critics.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you read through these?
I didn't. I usually just look at the number and I go, and I'm usually interested to see if I'm where the audience is, because they rarely ever feel the same way that the critics do.
So one of the top audience reviews is a guy saying, boring story, poor acting, and they probably should have used AI to replace the CGI in this film. Yes, validated. What did I watch? So our internet was all sticky until the other day.
Yeah.
So one episode of Bad Batch is all we got in.
All you were able to get.
But we have two. We're now going into the 2-part finale of season 1.
Okay.
So that's exciting. Oh my God, I don't have internet. What am I going to do with my life? I looked to the shelf And I was like, what do I have on DVD? So I watched like the first 10 episodes of season 1 of Boy Meets World.
Oh, that's a fun show.
Still one of the best, my favorite television show to this day.
I was able to get my daughter into watching that for a short period of time. I was so proud.
Good. It's so good.
And then she started watching this crappy Nickelodeon crap that's on Netflix again, and I was just like,
Grounder. Just Grounder. And
it's like, I really don't like a lot of that Nickelodeon stuff that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't like it because it treats the parents
unintelligent.
More
parents.
More than unintelligent. It is unintelligent, but it treats the parents and adult role models like morons.
Yeah, you've said that before. Yeah,
and it burns me up. It's like because that
it's gonna turn your kids against you.
Yeah, the kids in the show treat them poorly.
Yeah.
Which means she's like, what we consume is kind of how we start acting.
Yeah.
Like she's going to think it's okay to treat me or other adults poorly.
Just because I treat you that way doesn't mean your kids can.
Well, you're my friend. It's different. Yeah. You're an idiot.
I'm supposed to treat you poorly.
Where you watch something like any of those older sitcoms like Boy Meets World, and it's not only is it intelligent,
Feeney.
but Mr. Feeney, both the parents
are very
like there is a respect
in season
for parents and authority
and 4,
and
Mr.
yet
Turner,
and even though there's that respect there and there to that authority, the authority is not overbearing.
No,
it's loving and kind and as it should be, and it's like that. Yeah, man, that's what that is completely missing from a lot of those teeny bop shows nowadays, and it ticks me off.
And then finally, last week we had watched the first Shrek movie. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah. Kept watching.
We've watched 2, 3, and 4 now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
think 2 is a little bit better than 1. 1's great because it's iconic. It's the first Shrek. 2 is
where they add Puss in Boots.
They
right?
they add Puss in Boots. Yeah. They're in the kingdom of far away.
Not the wedding.
The post-marriage ball that they're going to have.
Right.
And it's able to just hit the ground running.
That's the one with Prince Charming?
Yes.
Is the fairy godmother the main antagonist?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's really good. I like that one too.
Then the third one also has Charming in it. It's the one where they're off to go find King Arthur to be the heir to the heir to far away.
Okay.
I think it's the weakest one. It's a real snooze fest.
That's the one with her parents?
Her parents are in the second one as well.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah. Her father dies at the beginning of the third one. And he's like,
right,
Shrek, you are my heir.
On an adventure.
And Shrek's like, I don't want to be king. Not happening.
He ends up turning into a human at some point in that one. Yeah. And Donkey turns into a real horse.
Not a great movie.
Yeah.
Not a great
Yeah, it falls
movie.
apart. Yeah.
And then
is there a fifth one?
There will be soon.
Yeah, okay, they're
2026.
Making it. So then after
so the fourth one is the one with Rumpelstiltskin and everything gets undone and Shrek has to convince barbarian warrior Fiona to kiss him before the day's over. Otherwise, Shrek doesn't exist anymore, and Shrek, as we know it, is all over with. It's good. It's much better than the third.
Yeah.
Much better than the third.
Then after that, there's the Puss in Boots films.
Puss in Boots, which the first Puss in Boots takes place actually before Shrek 2.
I haven't seen that one.
Which we discovered after watching Shrek 2, and I was a little like, man, we should have watched it in order.
So, you've seen it?
No. I haven't seen either of the Puss in Boots films. Yeah.
I was good. Man, for a second there, I was like, oh, you should make me watch that Puss, and then I'll watch the Wish one.
Me and the missus are probably just going to... We're on a Shrek.
You go ahead and watch it, and then
let
me know what you think of Last Wish. Cause
you really like that. You sang its praises.
I love it.
The internet agrees. Yeah. Like it was. Yeah.
It's if you, I think I would agree with you. And if I'm hearing you right, Shrek 2 is the best of the series.
I think so.
I would say that Puss in Boots is on par. I haven't seen 2 in a while, but I'm hesitant to say
Right.
So I'll caveat it with potentially a little bit better.
Sure.
I just love the way it kind of really digs into those fictional fairy tale characters and spins them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for listening to us debate about CGI.
Yeah.
Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all listed down below. We have a Patreon page. You get some fun perks as well as supporting the show.
Yeah, you can join us on Discord and join the debate
Discord.
about Electric State CGI.
Yeah, we should hash it. That's the spot we should start hashing it out on there.
Yeah.
We'll get in a big fight.
Yeah.
And then we'll just burn the whole Discord. We'll get banned from Discord for using words that just not allowed on Discord.
Ban us from our own server.
It's Discord. They'll do whatever. It's still a business. They'll do whatever they want. And we have merch.
Yeah, there's stickers. We got to do stickers.
Yeah. Have you
Stickety-stick
stuck
stickers.
your sticker to something?
No, I don't know what to stick my stickers to anymore.
You don't have you don't have skateboard helmets anymore. You don't have.
I'm a little stuck.
Yeah. That sucks.
But
That's why you just keep ordering the Movie Men thongs, because you know what to do with those.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Get my wife to wear them.
Whoa.